Well, good morning, everyone. I'm David Paul, the Managing Director of VectorVest in the UK, and I've entitled this little few minutes of a talk, Mixed Trends on Both Sides of the Atlantic. And that's what we have, ladies and gentlemen. We've got in the UK market, the longest term measure of the trend on VectorVest is down. The medium-term trend of the UK market is down, but the short-term measures of the market are up. So those customers of ours that are aggressive traders have already started to take some positions, and they will add to those positions as the longer-term measures of the trend turn in their favor, if they turn in their favor. More conservative players, buy and hold players, will still be sitting on the sidelines. I personally follow the medium-term market timing system on VectorVest. It's called a DEW. I'll spare you the acronym. I haven't taken any new positions as yet, but got a shopping list ready. So that's the UK market. The American market showing pretty much the same picture. The long-term trend has been down now since halfway through February, and we've had a rally over the last few days that's caused the short-term measure of the trend to move up. Those of you that are Fibonacci scholars will know that the American market has moved up in 3 waves, which is normally a corrective pattern, and has stopped at a major Fibonacci level, which was attacked yesterday, and I see is being attacked this morning as well. So I would like to see the S&P, for example, a couple of closes above 4,100 would be very healthy for the S&P 500 and be fairly positive confirmation that we've got a stronger trend up into rest of April and in May, where the seasonality for the stock market remains very good indeed. So I remain reasonably positive. That's the NASDAQ, which has had a great run, and clearly the American markets have outperformed the UK market, largely because there's a great deal of tech in the US market and virtually none in the UK market. That's the QQQ. I have a short-term position long of the QQQs. I spoke about it when I was on Core Finance about a week ago, and that's moving up quite nicely indeed. So stop losses at entry on that, and that's a spread bet on the QQQs. So in terms of some shares, oil, if you go to the VectorVest blog, and I did a what's next for oil last week, and I felt that the oil market had to break up, and then of course we had that announcement from OPEC at the weekend. This is ENOG, Energen, and as you can see, that's a weekly chart over what 3 years, and it's pulled back to support, and the blue thick line just below the price is the earnings per share, which is rising strongly, and the green line study above the price is the VectorVest valuation. So the company is growing earnings strongly, it's undervalued, and has pulled back to that support line. The bottom study is called an MACD. It's a weekly moving average converging diverging indicator constructed by a gentleman called Jerry Appel many years back, and that has just given a buy signal, and the buy signal is preceded by a concept called reverse divergence or a slingshot, and technically that's quite a potent setup. So ENOG looks as if it can run quite nicely from here. Now Thungela, the fundamentals of Thungela on VectorVest are outstanding. Nevertheless, the share has been pulling back as energy prices have fallen, and it's also pulled back because of the inability of the South African railways to actually get the coal to Richards Bay, the terminal. Thungela, I know very well. It's the old Anglo-American coal division, which was spun off by Anglo, London-listed Anglo, September 2021, when coal, in fact, was a problem. So it's pulled back now. Again, Fibonacci scholars will note that the low of week before last, I think, or last week, was exactly a 62% retracement of that 5-wave advance. It's pulled back, it's undervalued, growing earnings strongly, looks as if it wants to turn. Now it's on a hold recommendation on VectorVest. I haven't done anything as yet. I know many of our maybe more aggressive customers have already bought into it, but I'm waiting for that to move on to a buy recommendation. That is Thungela. Incredibly strong fundamentals on a forward PE of about 2 or 3. So to change tech from energy, NatWest clearly got a hammering in the banking crisis of a week or two ago, but it's pulled back to quite good level. As you can see, there's a very strong support line there that's been in place since the COVID crisis 3 years ago. So we pulled back to that. It's got 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th touch of that trend line. Again, you can see it pulled back in 3 waves, which is always a sign that we're ready to go again. So I think that around these levels, when the general market starts to look better, then NatWest will be a good buy. The fundamentals on VectorVest are strong. It's undervalued, growing earnings strongly, and pays a reasonable dividend of what, 5% plus. So I think a high probability of both capital growth and dividend growth. And you can't ask for more than that. And then finally, a small company, smallish company called Oakley Capital Investments. I've spoke about this company before. Again, I'm looking at a 3-year chart since COVID. It advanced very strongly indeed. It then went into that continuation pattern, a textbook 5-wave continuation pattern. It broke, came back and kissed, and has moved up, and in the sell-off of the overall market hasn't budged much at all. Presently, it is doing what technical analysts refer to as coiling, in that for the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's traded within a very, very tight range. I haven't bought any yet, but when the general market prints a buy signal, a longer-term buy signal, I think that I'll be buying some Oakley Capital Investments. Another share that looks good in this market would be Games Workshop. I've spoken about it before. I haven't got the chart here today, but Games Workshop has been incredibly strong over the last couple of weeks when the general market has been falling. So I think the Games Workshop will be an add for me. I'm already holding it, but it will be an add for me in this environment. Just like to wish everyone a very happy Easter, and I'll see you again when I'm back on Core Finance after Easter. We will be showing VectorVest on Saturday, April 15th at the Master Investor Show. So if you are in Islington, come along and say hello. Thanks very much indeed.